VOCAVERSE.
Hello, everyone. Vine boom, vine boom, vine boom. My name is Ten Burn, and happy Halloween! Oh my goodness! Evil laugh sound effect. Tonight we have a lovely show. We have a very special guest here, and oh my goodness, why don't we just go see who that guest is?
Hey.
Oh my goodness, who are you? What the heck?
Hi everyone. My name is EMIRI. I am a music producer from California. I've been producing for about 6 years now, with the latter half of 3 years being more Vocaloid focused. And I'm also a professional guitarist. Been playing guitar for about 20 years, with maybe last 8 years being my career. And besides that, contrary to popular belief, I am a guy. I know it's a little confusing because of the profile picture and my name, but I go by he, him. And yeah, that's who I am.
Yeah, we did discuss this a little bit. And I did want to ask, I wonder what made you choose a more feminine name and image for your music persona.
Yeah, so it's nothing too crazy. It's just before I was really all in on this Vocaloid stuff, I was playing a lot of video games. I was playing Final Fantasy 14 a lot, the MMO, and my character was a female character, and I just gave it a cute name. And then after playing it for a while, I got kind of well known in the game, and so I started streaming a lot, and streaming led to YouTube with VODs and stuff like that. And then on YouTube, I just called EMIRI because that's my character's name. And then I started getting a little bit more of a following, and then eventually I wanted to do music, right? And I was like, should I just make a new channel and put my music there, or just put it on the channel that has a few subs already? And I was like, I'll just put it on my existing channel. And then my first song that I put up, it got it blew up a little bit, not crazy, but relative to how known I was, which was literally zero at the time, it kind of blew up. And so I was like, I guess I'm just gonna stick with this name from now on. And yeah, that's just who I am now.
Yeah, so the origin there is just Final Fantasy clout. That's awesome. Wait,
yeah, exactly.
What kind of character are you? What sort of class?
I was a summoner. I got pretty well known for being a good summoner player.
The summoner. Were you an elf?
Yeah. No, I was a human. Midlanders,
normal. Well, normal.
Yeah. It's pretty rare in that game. Where you can be anything you want to be. I was just a regular girl. Yeah.
Yeah, because I played Final Fantasy 14. You said for a bit, and
yeah,
I was an elf. I was I want to be a creature.
Yeah.
Most people want to be a creature nowadays. But yeah, EMIRI, welcome to the show. I'm very happy to have you here. We just heard your song, Self-Destructive Girl, #new release. Very good song. But I kind of want to know a little bit of your lore before we go on tonight. So I'm wondering, what inspired you to start producing music in the first place?
Yeah, so this is actually kind of a long story. Mm-hmm. Like I said earlier, I've been doing guitar for most of my life, and I've been in the into music for most of my life. Right, grew up playing violin, piano, and whatever. And pretty early on, in high school, I knew that I wanted to make a career out of this if I could. And so I even went to college for guitar. I majored in guitar and stuff like that. And after college, there was a period of time where I got this chance to play some pretty big shows for some pretty famous artists who probably no one here will know, but there's a lot of international famous singers from Asia, and when they want to come to America to perform, it's kind of a hassle for them to bring their whole band and whatever. So they go through companies here to look for bands to help them, right? And I was a guitarist that would get called on for these shows a lot. So I played at a lot of shows in Vegas, the Venetian Theater, the Palazzo, for thousands of people. And when you're a kid, that's the dream, right? You're sitting in your room, you're playing guitar, just jamming out, and visualizing yourself in front of a huge stadium or something like that. And so when I got those opportunities, I was like, this is it, I've made it, right? And then I can very clearly remember when I would my very first show I did that was really huge. I walked on stage, and for some reason I was not nervous at all, but I was not excited at all either. And when I was playing, it was just kind of I was just kind of bored, apathetic maybe. And then I did a lot of the shows, and every single one was just kind of boring to me. And it was why is this happening, right? Because I thought this was the dream, and but the more I do, it's just kind of boring. And so I figured maybe I'll try something else. So then I did a lot of session work in guitar, which for people that don't know is let's say a producer needs guitars on a song, they'll like, call someone up, like, hey, can you come over? Or can you like play something over my song and send it to me? Right. So I tried doing that kind of stuff, worked with some other producers and like put out some pretty big songs with my guitar on it. But even that was like not really like, didn't really make me that happy. So I was like, what is the common denominator here? And I realized that in both cases, I was doing stuff for other people, like I was playing guitar for the other artists, like not my music, their music. And I was like working on other people's songs, not my own songs, right? So I was like, maybe if I just like make my own songs, that'll be the thing, right? So then I sat down, I already had some like music software because, I like track guitars and stuff like that. So I opened Ableton, which is a DAW for anyone that doesn't know. And then I didn't want to make like instrumentals though, right? I wanted to make like real songs and I needed a singer. So I was like, you know what? I'll download the 30-day free trial of Miku. And then, so I like sat down for a day, just like for like 10 hours, just started trying to make music. And then at the end of the day, I was like, this is kind of interesting. This is like really fun, right? I want to explore this. So I kept doing it. And after I made like a few beats, I was like, dude, this like feeling is nothing I felt in music before. Like, this is like what I've been searching for, right? Like that excitement of making something that like I can call mine and I'm proud of was like a really unique feeling. And pretty much as you get better and better at it, the feeling just gets better and better, like the next time you make a banger, it's like even more of a banger than your last banger because you're getting better. And it's just like a crazy feeling. So that's pretty much just where like it all started from.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. Yeah. That lore is kind of insane. It's kind of crazy. Yeah. Are you allowed to say who you played before?
It's like a lot of Chinese artists. People probably will not like know. It's like I want to say boomer Chinese artists that like are my parents would know and like be like, wow, like that's crazy, play for them. But like people, like younger kids or whatever will never know. But like people want to look up like Sky Wu or like Eric Moo, those kind of people. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so interesting.
For sure. No one listening knows, but yeah.
But it's still pretty cool. Like, oh my goodness. I didn't know you had lore like that. Can I ask also, like, what got you into like playing guitar in the first place? Because that's like the true like beginning.
It's such a stupid story. Like, my godbrother, he called me up one day and he's like, yo, I just bought a guitar from Costco. Like, do you want to start playing too? Because my sister had a guitar and he was like, I know your sister has one. Like, how about you start learning? And I started learning. We learned it on the same day and then we can help each other grow. And I was like, wait, that sounds pretty cool, right? And then after like 2 months, he quit. But I just kept going. Yeah. And here I am now, like 20 years later or something. Yeah.
That's crazy. Costco guitars.
Yeah.
What even is a Costco?
It was you could get it there. It was some knockoff. Yeah. I don't know if they still sell them there, but this was like 20 years ago. So yeah.
Yeah, that's so crazy. Wow. Okay. Well, I'm just going to head over to the next question. Like, you did say you downloaded the 30-day Miku trial. What got you into Vocaloid? Like, what introduced you to Miku? And you seem to very much like Miku, considering that 99% of your discography is Miku. So is there any reason, like, she, like, resonates with you in particular?
Okay, so this story is also, it's kind of cheesy. It's a little cringe-inducing, but it's true, so I'm going to put it out there. So back in 2011, I was working at Anime Expo, which for people who don't know is like the largest anime convention in the States in LA. And when I was working there in 2011, if you were working, you got like a free concert ticket, right? And the guest for that year is Miku, and it was her first time ever performing in America. And I had no idea who she was, but my coworkers were like really excited and stuff. And so I went home, I looked up, Hatsune Miku on YouTube. And I remember the first video I saw was World Is Mine, right? And so then I listened to it and I was like, this is interesting. Like, the first time you hear Vocaloid, it's a little like, I'm not sure what this is kind of feeling, especially like back in the day, right? When, there was like way less. I was like, this is like cool. I don't know how much I like it, but it's interesting. I'd be down to listen to it more, right? I listened to like, Melt and just like went down the list a little bit. I was like, okay, this is cool. I don't know if I listen to it all the time, but I'll put it on once in a while. And then I realized it was by Supercell, right? And I really liked Supercell at the time. So I downloaded that original, Supercell Miku album and put it on my playlist. And from there, it was just kind of like, just something I would listen to once in a while, but I didn't really care that much. And then one day I was driving on this like really long car ride, and honestly, I was kind of zoning out while on the freeway, which is never do that, kids. And while I was driving, I got into a pretty bad car accident, which was my fault. I accidentally rear-ended someone while zoning out, and my front of my car was like totally like smashed in, and yeah, it was really bad, right? And so my parents, they came in like 2 separate cars so that I could take one to keep the trip going, and they would take the others back home. And then if you've ever been in like a kind of like a traumatic moment like that, you know, like it doesn't matter where your mind's at, like sometimes your body just like has a mind of its own. So even though like I was like kind of calmed down after like 30 minutes, my body was still like visibly shaking, right? Like my hands were like trembling kind of because I was so shooken up. And so I was trying to drive, like keep driving, but like my hands were like just shaking. I didn't know what to do, right? So I decided like, but then I had music on, and I was like, oh, okay, let me just like focus on the music, just like listen to it like really deeply as I drive, and maybe that'll calm me down. And it just happened to be that Supercell album. And as I was listening to it, I noticed myself like calming down. And I don't know. Ever since then, like Miku's had like a special place in my heart, you know, like something about her voice and like the songs just has always been able to like bring some comfort when I need it, you know? And that's kind of why I'm ride or die Miku, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think me personally, after something like that, I'd also be ride or die Miku. Like that's very amazing that music was able to help you like that. Yeah. Music's awesome. Shout out music. I'm sorry.
Shout out music. Shout out Miku.
Yeah, shout out
Supercell, Rio.
Yeah, shout out Supercell. Oh my goodness, their stuff's amazing.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but that's a crazy story, Emery.
Yeah.
But I very much get the attachment to Miku now, and why most of your songs are Miku songs. But just because this is like kind of a relevant question, like, would you ever use any other Vocaloids? I mean, you used Kafu that one time, but like, is there any others that like interest you at all?
Yeah. So, okay, to put it out there first, I am like, I sometimes call myself like a fake Vocaloid fan, because realistically, I'm just a Miku fan, right? Like, I like Miku, and I don't care that much about the other Vocaloids. But at the same time, I wouldn't be opposed to doing maybe like duets, you know? Like one of my favorite songs of all time in Vocaloid is Gimme Gimme, you know, by Giga and Hachioji.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, that's like, that song is crazy. And, you know, there's written in that song, you know, I wouldn't be opposed to doing like some Miku Rin or like Miku Luka, something like that. But I wouldn't say it's one of my priorities, and it would be pretty rare for me, I think, to do like a solo song that doesn't have Miku in it. Yeah,
and I think that makes sense. And you know what? I kind of respect that. It's like,
because at the end of the day, it's just like Miku is the reason I'm making this music, you know?
Yeah.
Like, without Miku, it's like not what I want to make. So
like Miku has like helped you a lot, and like she's been by your side, and she's kind of like a goat for that. And I kind of love
exactly.
it. Yeah. Shout out to Miku again. But yeah, Emery, thank you for telling us all this lore. I really appreciate it. But now we gotta listen to some more music, I think. We're gonna actually listen to one of your songs. Oh my goodness. And that song is Dreamer. Do you have any comments on Dreamer you would like to share with the audience?
Yeah, so this song was actually my first song that started, I would say, giving me more momentum, because it was honorable mention at the Miku Expo Song Contest in 2024. And I think that was one of the moments where I was like, where my fans like, or I started getting way more fans, and I could feel like the momentum actually shifting. So I thought I'd put it, you know, early on the list just because I want people to hear, you know, I like it a lot. So yeah.
You know what? A little birdie has told me you might have an announcement for us regarding the Oyster. Would you like to share with the class?
Yeah, this is something that's very near and dear to my heart. It's called the Billion Oyster Project. So before European colonization, the area currently known as the New York Harbor used to contain half the world's population of oysters. A key figure in the local ecosystem, these oysters filter nitrogen from the water, prevent erosion, and reduce flooding. Through overharvesting and industrial pollution, however, these numbers have now near diminished. The Billion Oyster Project aims to restore the oyster reef population through reef reconstruction and monitoring, all through the help of volunteers and public school students. For more information on how to get involved, go to billionoystersproject.org. Again, that's billionoysterproject.org. This has been a public service announcement from WNYU.
Thank you so much, Emery. I really appreciate that, and the oysters are really important. Shout out to oysters.
It's true.
You are now listening to VOCAVERSE by Denver.
Hello. Oh my goodness. Oyster let's just get on with the freaking show, Emery. I do wonder, why don't we talk a little bit about music production right now? I wonder, what is your first step when you compose a song? Or is there anything that you do to get yourself like a little inspired?
So I think this question is like a little hard to answer for me because I don't have any like specific first step. I think because I grew up with like so much musical background, I don't really feel like locked into like a certain way of doing things. So sometimes it could be like you just hear like a lyric, right? It could be like a melody or something. Like, for example, when I was walking through Costco one day, like a year and a half ago, I was just like humming to myself, and I did like a little like dun 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 dun. I just sang that to myself, and I was like, that was the start of Millennia, and it was just literally, I was just walking around Costco, and that's how it started, right? And that's like, if like a melody is the one that starts it. Sometimes it's a concept, right? Like once I was like, listening to random songs, and I noticed that like, everyone has like something girl. It's like such a common name of a song, something girl, right? And then I was like, what would be my something girl, right? And then I was just like looking around on like Twitter or whatever. I saw someone write the word self-destructive, and I was like, self-destructive girl, that's kind of interesting, right? That's kind of catchy. And but it's too easy. Someone's had to have done it before. So I went to go look, and I was like, no one's done it. What? I guess it's my turn to do it. So there's not really a way that I started. It can just be literally anything that just like inspires me. I think the inspiration is just like, because music is running through my head all day. Like I'm always humming. If you look at my like phone, there's like, like hundreds of voice memos of just me humming and stuff like that. I would say the inspiration just comes from all the experience I've built up over the years,
Yeah, and I have to say, it's very interesting that this is the second time Costco has been brought up in reference to your life. I think Costco might be really important in your process, so maybe we should all go to Costco. A second question I have is, I'm wondering, like, do you think your experience, like, going to music school, like, for guitar and stuff, like, does that, like, inform, like, the composing process that you do?
It definitely helped a lot, yeah. Like, before school, I was self-taught completely. And there's some things that, sometimes you don't learn when you're teaching yourself, right? Because you don't know you need to learn it. And school gave that like structure, right? Taught me from the ground up, helped me get a better foundation. So while I don't think, like education is like necessary at all to like begin music or to even like thrive in music, it definitely helps you like get there faster. Like, for example, I don't need to like sit down for a long time figuring out like chord progressions or what kind of melody fits over these chord progressions or whatever, because I just know them instinctively from having learned them and having a very good foundation,
Yeah. So you be knowing music theory?
Yeah, not like crazy, but I mean, yeah, I'm pretty decent at theory.
I'm going to ask a really weird question. What's your favorite mode?
I mean, okay, so a thing about me is that I really like, I know a lot about music, but I just like the basics. So like, even though I know all the modes, like, I'm not going to sit there and be like, yeah, I love Phrygian or I love like Mixolydian. I'm like, dude, just hit me with the Aeolian and the Ionian, man. Hit me with the major and minor scales.
I'm so sorry, but I was literally going to say my favorite's Mixolydian.
Okay, yeah, sorry. Yeah, it's because, I don't know, like, I mean, 99% of the songs in the world are just, like Aeolian and Ionian. So it's like, I just like that sound, and, I guess if I was forced to pick one that wasn't, I would say Lydian, maybe. Maybe like Dorian is the most common answer people would give, but it's a little basic.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
We're like alienating like 90% of the audience right now. Like everyone's like, what are these Greek words? What is Phrygian, huh?
Yeah. And I'm over here like the one guy who's like, I like Mixolydian. Like, okay, bro, you need to stop.
Yeah. So are you a big fan of like blues music then? Because that's like pretty.
Oh my goodness. I've been, because I told you like while we're listening to music, like I take bass lessons now, and my bass teacher is like a jazz and blues musician. So now I've like accidentally like gotten really into jazz, and now when I write music, I'm using like weird chords and stuff.
Nice.
And like I've showed it to people because I'm like a new composer, and they're like, this is really strange, right? Like, and I'm like, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
And shout out Mixolydian mode. Anyway.
Let's go. Shout out Mixolydian.
Yeah, shout out Mixolydian. Anyway, let's just keep chatting about music for a little bit. we kind of discussed this a little bit, but I'm wondering, how do you come up with like the lyrics and concepts to your songs? Because like you kind of characterize Miku in a certain way for each one of your songs. Like obviously Self-Destructive Girl, she's Self-Destructive Girl, but it applies to all of them. So I'm wondering, how do you go about that? Do you like see a vision in your head?
Yeah. So lyrics first is like, I've been doing lyrics for a long time. Like, cause before, I started like making, music, like producing music, I was like writing songs in high school or whatever. Right. And, you know, a lot of times I didn't really know like how to write songs. Like, I don't know why I'm playing these chords or whatever, but lyrics is something that everyone can just see and kind of understand. Right. So I wrote like a lot of lyrics growing up. And, so that's always kind of been like second nature for me. And, for like concepts of songs, there's been like this shift in the way that we write lyrics in America, in the West. And, back in the day, we wrote a lot more like poetic, a lot more metaphorical. But nowadays, if you listen to like current pop music and stuff like that, our lyric writing is much more storytelling driven. And I really love that. Like, I really love having a song like just tell a whole story. And if the listener can envision the story in their head while listening, then like I think that's my goal is like complete, right? So before I start any song, I like make sure, kind of like an author, right? I know what this character is and like what is going on in their mind, right? So for Self-Destructive Girl, I needed to figure out what kind of self-destructive she is, right? Because there's like a few things to consider, right? Like, so we know she's self-destructive, specifically in relationships, right? And I didn't want it to be self-destructive in other ways, like self-harm or anything like that. I wanted it just to be purely about relationships. I knew that going into it. I also knew that I wanted her to be completely unapologetic about it and like self-aware that she is like this. I wanted it to like be like, yeah, I know I'm like this, but so what, right? Like that feeling was like in my head from the very beginning. And so when I think about that, I made sure that all my lyrics represented that, right? So like when I start writing lyrics, I usually have like one or two lines that'll come in my head, and I make sure that those lines come across really clearly, and all the other lines built around them, right? So for example, in the chorus of that song, there's a line that's like, why do you look so surprised? I told you like 1,000 times, never fall in love with me. It's all a lie. And, that was like the first line I wrote. That was like, okay, this is the girl. She is just someone that's like, why are you surprised? I told you, like, don't fall in love with me. Like, I know I'm fake kind of thing. And so every song I've written, I always try to, number one, make sure that there is a story being told. And number two, I really understand what the singer is saying from like their POV. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's cool that you kind of approach it in like very much like a writer sense. Like that's like super cool. I hadn't really heard this sort of thing described to me like that before. So I really do appreciate that. That's so interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder, do you think that like the way in which you characterize the many Mikus in your songs, do you think that helps make the song resonate with people?
Yeah, I think so. I think like a good author, like we were saying, it's kind of like an author, right? Like like you don't, because there's like this old adage of like you should write what you know, right? But I think that's kind of outdated, and it's like for example, an author doesn't need to like have been in that experience to write like a good story, right? So it's like, as long as you're able to really empathize with the character and really like see through their eyes, that's all that really, really matters, right?
Yeah, I really get that. That I don't know. That's just like a very interesting way to go about writing lyrics. I'm kind of loving that. I'm kind of loving that.
Yeah, if you like pay attention to modern day like pop songs lyrics, you'll notice that it's getting a lot more like storytelling wise. Yeah. If you just like really hone in on them, yeah.
Yeah, and I do feel like you also did like a great job with that, with like the way the Self-Destructive Girl music video is stylized. I know that you hired someone to work on that, but like, did you have like also a hand in that as well?
Yeah, so actually, I had, so the moment I created, or I thought of the idea of the song, right? I thought of the word Self-Destructive Girl, right? And then I instantly heard the main like hook of like, I'm a self-destructive girl. I heard that in my head. And so I went and I tracked that. I made the music around it. And I was like, I knew I wanted it to be a pop punk song. And I already knew from the beginning I wanted her to be unapologetic. So I was like, what would be like the most like punk thing to do for a music video, right? And from day one, I had this mental image of Miku like running around a room smashing things. And so I went into like a deep dive trying to find like an animator that would be good, right? And then just looked at random YouTube videos, looked at like the credits, find like random animators, and so then I found the lemon melon cookie guy, right? And I noticed that actually his like specialty is doing fight scenes. And so I was like, oh, this guy would be perfect. And then how it worked was when I hit him up, I actually I wrote down my entire proposal. Like pretty much the whole storyboard was actually like from my head of like every moment, except for maybe like one where I didn't know what to do, and he filled that in for me. And then I sent it to him, and then he liked the idea. He did some edits, for like his own sake of what he thought would be good or how it would work. But I would say the original storyboard was pretty much from my head, and it was like pretty clear from the first moment when I created the concept that it was going to be like this kind of Miku in this kind of video.
Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. And you know what? Shout out to Self-Destructive Girl, and shout out to the lemon melon cookie guy. What's his name?
General Cannon.
Shout out to General Cannon. Shout out.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Shout out.
Yeah. I think we gotta listen to some more music now, but thank you for enlightening me, Emery. And now, what we're gonna listen to, what are your songs again? Oh my goodness. Time Traveler. Do you have a comment about Time Traveler before we listen?
Yeah, so a lot of people ask me what my favorite song of my own is, right? And I don't really have an answer because, I love all my songs. But I often say that I think Time Traveler is one of my like most well-produced songs. It's like the song that I'm like really proud of production-wise. And it's also like, I was really big into EDM before doing Miku music. And I haven't really let that shine too much in my own music. So this was like one of the bigger like EDM tracks that I actually made, which was really exciting for me personally because I like that stuff a lot. So this is one of my personal favorite songs.
Yeah. I do have a question before we kind of shift gears, because our next section of tonight kind of gets a little emo with the music. So I did want to ask, what inspires your shift in style between different songs and stuff? Are there any other genres you'd like to experiment with in the future?
Yeah, so if anyone's been like a long time listener of mine, they'll realize that I don't have like one style that I just make whatever I want at the moment. And I think there's like two reasons for this. The first reason is just like growing up, I've had a lot of different phases of music genres I like. Like when I was in high school, I was really into like screamo music, post-hardcore, and a little bit of metal. And that really defined like my guitar playing when I first started off, right? Like those kind of riffs and stuff like that. And then after that, I went into like a little bit of a indie phase, where I was into like some Death Cab for Cutie or like Cold War Kids, bands like that. And then after that, I went to like an EDM phase where I was really into just like all forms of EDM. And that's like throughout my life, I just like had so many different types of music I like. I went to like a K-pop phase. Right now I'm currently in just like a generic pop phase. I'm really into like all the female singers like Billie Eilish, Sabrina Carpenter, Olivia Rodrigo. And like I would say that there's not really like one genre that is my favorite. Like all of these genres have something that like means something to me, right? And because of that, I just like don't have a genre I want to make. It's not like I'm not like a screamo kind of guy and I just want to make screamo music, because I also love EDM, so I want to make EDM music, and I also love pop music, so I want to make pop music. And it's like the beautiful thing about Vocaloid is there's no genre restriction. You can just do whatever you want. Like a lot of my songs, I feel like they wouldn't fit anywhere else but in Vocaloid because of how maybe weird they are or something. But I mean, that's like I said, that's the beautiful thing, right? And the second reason my style is so varied is like I mentioned I went to college for guitar, and when I was there, you meet like a lot of different people, and you start realizing that everyone has their specialty, right? Like you'll see like a group of kids that would be like the metalheads, right? They're just like all day like practicing getting really technical really fast. And then you'll see like the other side of the room will be like the jazz kids who are just like over there nerding out over like jazz-centered books and just like listening to, you know, all those old songs and whatever. And like, I was trying to think, where do I fit? Because that's not me. Like I said, I just love everything, you know, like where do I fit into this? What's my specialty? And so when I was trying to search for that, I decided that my specialty would be to intentionally become kind of a jack of all trades. And, you know, the bad connotation of that is that like you're a master of none, right? But like, I think it's really helped in like my guitar career. Because for example, like when I do these shows for people, you know, like I might not be as like technically skilled as like a crazy metal guy, right? But like in these shows I do with to go from, you know, like a rock song into a funk song, into like a finger style acoustic song, into like a slide guitar song, into like, you know, a country song. And it's like, I decided that I would be just like really good at all styles and not just be a master at one style, you know? And I kind of just went with that same mentality when I started producing, you know, like I was just like, yeah, like I don't want to stick to one genre. Like it's just not me. Like unapologetically me is just doing whatever I want to do at the moment. So yeah.
Yeah, that's so true. That's so true.
Yeah, and then you asked about other genres in the future. I would say one genre that I still haven't yet gotten my foot in yet is like Japanese electro.
Ooh.
That stuff is really interesting, but it's also really different than anything we do in America. So it's like a little hard for me to like feel it out. Yeah, I'm trying, but it'll take a little longer than the others. Besides that, I've never done like a real like K-pop style song, but I love K-pop. So I would love to do some like K-pop bangers with Miku, but yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. First of all, I have to be honest. When you were saying this, I was hoping you were going to say something really weird, like I want to do a bluegrass song.
Bluegrass? Oh,
yeah,
maybe.
What a reply.
Maybe one day.
Yeah, maybe one day.
Yeah.
There are so many, I have to say, there's so many like bluegrass and like country folks like shows at my radio station. I'm like, I need someone to just start making like bluegrass Miku songs so I could give that to them and be like, hey, we should collab on this little show. Anyway, sorry. But yeah, I really, it's cool that I don't know. I like that you're untethered to a specific genre, and it could be really useful. You know, helps you out.
For sure.
Yeah. And there's the other thing I was gonna say is like Vocaloid is a technique, not really a genre. So it is cool that it could be applied to everything, including bluegrass. If anyone wants to do that for me,
yeah, you could be the first.
Maybe I could be the first. I have to get into I have to buy a banjo. I've been saying this for years, by the way, and that's really beautiful. But on kind of a related note, from what I know, you've entered the Miku Expo Song Contest this year, and without giving specifics, what direction did you go for with your entry, and how do you think it might stand out among other entries?
Yeah, so I'm trying to think like how much I want to say without giving too much away. I will say I originally was planning to make like a Halloween-ish song, not like a spooky song or anything, but just like Miku as a witch. And I ended up changing it for the Miku Expo Song Contest, so it is like still a little bit witch themed. And genre-wise, it actually is like some music I've never done. It's a little bit more like deco style, like this really funky Japanese stuff. And then it has like a really how do I explain it? It has like it's like really idol like music, J-pop idol music, like Love Live or like Bang Dream or whatever. For like the first half. So like first half is like super deco style, and then it like randomly like morphs into like an idol song.
That's awesome.
And
I kind of love that.
Yeah. How it sticks out from other entries, I decided to do all Japanese because honestly, I'm a producer first and a tuner second. And I haven't spent enough time to make English Miku sound as good as I would want it to sound. So I was like, if I want to put the best song I can, I got to do Japanese. So I guess that's different because I'm assuming most people will do English. And also, I think the song is really like I said, it's really Japanese sounding. And I think it's pretty rare for a Western producer to really be able to like capture that sound. And if I succeeded, I think that's like, you know, definitely something that will make the judges like, oh, this guy is actually like making some Japanese music, you know, as a Westerner. It's like kind of cool. Yeah.
I'm very much excited to hear it, Emery, and maybe we shall soon. I don't know when we're allowed to post, when people are allowed to post things. I say we're as if I submitted one. I did not. But yeah, very, very exciting, Emery. I do want to ask you, Emery, do you have any words of wisdom for anyone in our audience right now, maybe aspiring musicians?
Yeah, so I kind of have like a word of advice for like aspiring musicians and producers in general, and then I have like another one for specifically Vocaloid producers. So the first one, just in general, I mean, it's kind of obvious, but I think the like importance of it can't be stressed enough. It's you're gonna suck for a long time, and you have to be okay with that. You know what I mean? Like in the beginning, like music production especially is not something you can learn overnight. Specifically because this might not really make sense to a lot of people yet, but like you have to like really train your ears when you produce, and training your ears is not something that like magically happens. It's like trial and error through a lot of practicing and experimenting. So you're gonna like fail for a really long time, and that is part of the process. And you gotta find like you gotta like persevere through that time to like get to the other side, where when the other side is like, it is like amazing when you finally can hear differently and you start making bangers, right? But just don't get discouraged, because it's hard, and there's no like secret trick. I see a lot of beginning producers and musicians go on YouTube and look up some, you know, guides on how to like EQ and how to compress and stuff like that. And it's like, just being in the project and working on the music will be like 99% of the time way better than watching some like YouTube video. You know what I mean? And like, you just gotta just keep trying and failing, and eventually you'll fail less, and you'll learn more and more from each failure. And then for Vocaloid producers specifically, this is another like, this is not like a hard rule for everyone, but it's just something I see a lot, especially with beginners, is that because we all love Vocaloid, a lot of people want to like work with their favorite voice bank and like vocal synth or whatever, and they spend like a lot of their time disproportionately in the tuning process, and they neglect the production process. And when in my head, it should really be the opposite, where you want to do like way more producing and then a little bit less tuning when you're first starting off, because the better you get at producing, the more accurately you'll be able to hear how the voice should sound. And so like when you're just tuning just to tune, you're not actually like figuring out how it should be tuned with your song. But like the better you get at producing, the better you're going to be able to hear like how this voice should sound. And because of that, you don't need to spend as much time learning to tune, because you'll know what you should do already, you know?
Yeah, that makes sense, Emery. And thank you so much for being a guest on the show tonight. I really appreciate it.
No problem. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, shout out. I'll see you around, Emery. I'll see you around.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah. Bye, Emery. Yeah, have a good night, everyone. Bye.